So in today's video, I just want to teach you guys some useful tips to making your LEGO creations look better. So whether you're a beginner or somewhat advanced builder like me, I promise this video won't be a waste of your time. Now, some of these tips you guys may already know, but either way, I'll be sharing a variety of tips and tricks that a lot of advanced builders use, like those people you see at LEGO conventions or simply just advanced builders here in the LEGO community. Now, a lot of these tricks are often simple and overlooked, and others are just never really explored enough. So anyways, I won't waste your time, so let's dive right into this video. So I'm not going to give these tips in a specific order, but first off, color contrast. Now, color contrast is really important because it sets the tone for your build. For example, if you're trying to make a creepy forest based off of a horror film, you're going to want to aim after using darker colors like dark green, dark brown, and whatnot. While on the other hand, if you're trying to aim after something a little bit on the more bright and happy side, take a look at this house, for example. The use of colors in a build really just creates a sense of character, and make sure that you use it appropriately. Another really super useful trick is one that a lot of you guys probably know, and that is SNOT. So you guys probably hear this term all the time but don't know what it means. So for those who are unaware, SNOT is just a term that stands for studs not on top. Now, this technique is incredible because it almost like adds a fourth dimension to your build. There's a variety of different types of pieces you could use to accomplish SNOT. Some of the most common ones I use include these SNOT bricks, eyelet bricks, and also these plates. But anyway, whenever I try to build, I really just try to take advantage of using this technique because of how useful it is and also of how much detail it can add to your builds. Illegal building techniques are another really super cool way to spice up your builds a little. No, it's not like what it sounds. You're not going to have the FBI busting into your house if you use them. I mean, me and the boys do it every Saturday night. Just kidding. But anyway, illegal building techniques are just ways that pieces go together that aren't really official. In the long run, using illegal building techniques just kind of is like, it just kind of creates that, whoa, that's really super cool moment. Like, I've never seen a piece used in that way. It's mainly for rebels, so if you're a rebel like me and you don't really like abiding by the standard interlocking brick system, then go ahead and try illegal building techniques out for yourself because they're not only cool to use, but they're also really super fun to experiment with. Now, I do have a video on actually top 10 illegal building techniques, and if you guys want to check that out, click the link in the description. It's not super accurate. A lot of the techniques are actually official, but I wasn't aware of that at the time. But either way, you guys can probably get some good food for thought from that video. Another really useful trick is just having a good balance between tiles and studs. So depending on the amount of tiles and studs you use in a build, it can really just manipulate how the human eye perceives it, if that makes sense. For example, if you're trying to make a car, you don't want to add a ton of studs. It would just give it a bumpy, rugged, rough look. On the other hand, if you're making a living room and you're trying to design carpet, then go for using a lot of studs for the floor. For example, in this office build I did, I made sure to include a lot of that. Now, this isn't something that I've seen a lot of people talking about, but transitions is also very important. So transitions are basically just moving from one section of a build to another. Take a look at this LEGO Indiana Jones build that I did like a few weeks ago. For example, you start towards the bottom and you have like this rocky, pebbly surface, and you move up to a slightly darker tone of rock, and then finally you have the trees, which kind of just canopy over the rest of the build. But nevertheless, there's a really smooth transition from the bottom to the top, and that was simply done using a lot of transitional pieces. For example, before we move from the rock cliff to the regular green tone, we have a transition of dirt, which comes in two different shades, and also some dark green plates to resemble some of like the shadows, I guess you could say. And that in the long run, just having a blend of colors creates a nice transition, and it's something you want to pay attention to when you build pretty much anything. Now, shape is another crucial topic. You got to make your builds have a lot of shape to it. Now, when a lot of people start building, they often build really blocky, and by that I mean a lot of their builds are just like rectangular or square, and that's pretty much it. But once you become more advanced, I recommend you try to branch off of that and try to get a little more shapy with your builds. A good example I can think of is a build that I've done a few videos back, and that is this Harry Potter Quidditch field. If you look closely, like 80% of this build is using a lot of angles. So angles are a great way to improve the looks of your build and add more shape and roundness, and a lot of other pieces that kind of have roundness as well can help in this. Now I see a lot of beginner builders using these default pieces, like these default chairs, these default countertops and drawers. Experts will always get creative and make their own chairs and cabinets and whatnot, and this just allows for more creativity and really allows you to kind of get more in depth in the way you want to characterize your build. I would consider default pieces like these to be like training wheels. Feel free to use these if you're a beginner and you're just trying to get the groove of building with Lego, but as you become more comfortable, try moving away from these and making your own, and you can see the major improvement from, for example, this default chair design to this chair design right here. Now definitely one of the most important tricks is paying attention to the small details. I know I keep referring back to this Indiana Jones mock, but if you look at this, you can tell in pretty much every spot of the build there's something kind of characteristic about it. Whether you're looking at the little vines growing up the side of the cliff or a dead log on the ground, there's small details that you can see everywhere, and that's what pro-level builders really focus on with their creations. You should be able to take a Lego creation of your own, look at a small section of it, and ask yourself, did I put enough detail into this one little spot? And if no, then there's definitely more improvement to be made. Also, having a balance between simplicity and complexity is very important. Now, when people think of a really super cool Lego creation, they think of something really complex. But in reality, a lot of simplicity also goes into it. Some of the best builds that I've seen are actually very, very simple. The best example I can think of are like Minecraft builds I see like a lot of people in the community doing, and I've done some myself. Understand when it's appropriate to be simplistic and be complex in your build. It will save you a lot of brain power and energy. I mean, don't spend all your time trying to think of a highly complex technique, because in most cases that will just throw away your motivation. You got to be like an airbender, like know the balance between these two forces and, use them appropriately. And last but not least, the most important tip, the best and only way you'll get better at building is just experimenting. And experimenting comes with a lot of trial and error, a lot of just hardship and getting frustrated, and a lot of patience. But trust me, I've had that myself, and I will say, if it weren't for that, my building would have never improved. I would recommend just testing out different styles of building and see how other people design their builds and what cool techniques they use. So there you go, guys. I think those were 10 tips in total. But anyway, I hope you can take this all as food for thought. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to making more tips and tricks videos like this. So if you have any recommendations, if there's anything I missed, comment down below, and I'd love to hear from you. So catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and like always, keep on building. Peace out.